Good morning. It is day 7 and what I'm considering week 2 of Fortnight Frights. I look a wreck because I did it. I picked up The Year of the Witching last night. I said I wasn't going to, but I did, and I stayed up till way too late. And I had to get up early today because we're heading out to Olympia, so good job, Amy. I'm now about halfway through, and I'm really enjoying Year of the Witching. I love the characters a lot, Emmanuel and Ezra, and I like the story. It's a lot of fun. At this point, there's been a plague. There's been one plague, it's the blood plague, and everything around Bethel has been dying and disgusting, and Emmanuel's trying to figure out how to stop that. And there's some stuff going on with the prophet. He doesn't seem like a very good guy. It's just sucked me in. I knew it was going to, and it did. I think I went to sleep around 2:45. Barely awake, but I'm here. And awake enough to drive, though, so I'll be fine, don't worry. Alright, so it is day 8. I'm officially into week 2 of Fortnight Frights. Just got back from Olympia less than an hour ago. It was really nice to spend time with my friends Teresa and Ross, help them get moved in, and I'm so excited they're here in Washington. And hopefully at some point they'll be even closer. So on the way, we listened to maybe about 6 hours total of The Witching Hour, about 35% of the way into that one. So at this point, Michael Curry is at this mother house for this group called the Talamasca. And the Talamasca are basically these record keepers for all supernatural families, people, so anybody who is a witch, into witchcraft. So when Michael Curry got to New Orleans, he ran into Aaron Leitner, who is this guy from the Talamasca, and he wanted and needed to tell Michael Curry everything about the Mayfair family. At this point, Michael's reading a folder that has all of the Mayfair family history in it, and so you're going back many generations. I can't remember exactly what year you go back to, but it starts in Scotland. You're reading all these letters from a guy named Peter, who was part of the Talamasca from Amsterdam, and he kind of followed the Mayfair family. He fell in love with Deborah, and it's a whole bunch of fun stuff. And I will say, trigger warnings in this book for incest, which is uncomfortable. Ultimately, I'm enjoying it. The part I'm at right now, I'm not really liking the direction it's going, so I'm kind of like, why do you have to go there? Kind of find that Anne Rice does that. She seems to kind of just like to go where the dark parts of people live. I guess that sometimes that's kind of realistic to human nature, but when I'm reading a fiction, I don't always enjoy reading that sort of thing unless it's fairly historically accurate. So I don't know. And it's hard to explain. Like I said, trigger warnings for incest. Ultimately, though, I'm over a third of the way through that, and I'm enjoying it. So right now I'm sitting down with Ghostland, and I'm on page 195. This section is all about graveyards and cemeteries. It's interesting. I liked this section about asylums. I think that the prisons were the most interesting so far in this particular section. This has to be turned to the library pretty soon, and so I have to keep reading this, even though I really, really want to pick up The Year of the Witching now that I'm back home. I keep seeing it staring at me, and no, I gotta finish Ghostland. So I'll finish this, and then I've got a lot of homework due tomorrow, and then I've got a big paper and an exam on Wednesday. So reading in the next couple of days is going to be fairly limited. So kind of sad about that, but I do need to get my schoolwork done, and it's just coming up very quickly. Most of the schools I went to before this were semester-length classes, and up here in Washington, they do mostly quarter-length classes. I've only taken a few quarter-length courses, and they're not my favorite because they just go so darn fast, and it feels like the class just started, but we are already halfway through it, which just seems crazy to me. So I'm gonna keep reading. I'm hoping to get Ghostland done tomorrow, maybe mostly tonight and then tomorrow, and then I'd like to try and get through The Year of the Witching as quick as possible, because then I need to pick up The Only Good Indians. We'll see what this week entails. One day at a time. I'm going to call it a night because I'm exhausted with a lot of driving, and I'm going to try and read as much as possible before I pass out. So have a good night. Hello, friends. It is day 11, I think. I haven't recorded for a day or so, and that's mostly because I've been really busy with schoolwork. and so I haven't been able to read as much as I would have liked. But I had my exam this morning, and it was a doozy, and I got my paper completed and turned in yesterday. So I have done everything I need to do for that, and I am back to reading The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. So good. So good. I'm loving this book. There have been more plagues. There's exciting adventure. I just love the characters and the suspense. It flows very well. I have a really hard time putting this book down because it just keeps getting more and more exciting. The aesthetic of the story is something that I'm really enjoying. It's very exciting. You should pick it up if you're interested in books about witchcraft, but then more so about the ethics of some of these cult-like patriarchal societies. Little feminist Amy is enjoying this quite a bit. Still need to read The Only Good Indians and Relic. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get to Relic because it's just looking like it might not work out this way. Plus, I'm doing Gish this weekend, which is the greatest international scavenger hunt hosted by Misha Collins. And if you don't know anything about that, he is one of the characters from Supernatural, the TV show. He created this worldwide scavenger hunt that they've been having going on for several years now. Typically in August, it's a week-long event. This is just a Halloween event, so it's just 48 hours over the weekend. It's mostly stay-at-home stuff in this case because we have to stay at home in quarantine, so it's a lot of crafting and creating and searching for things. The nice thing about this event is you also try to create a lot of fundraisers, different charitable deeds that will help out other people. It's a lot of fun, so I'll put the information for that down below if you're interested in ever checking it out. If you're a big fan of Supernatural and you've never gished before, you're missing out. So that actually starts on Friday at 4 p.m. and it'll go for 48 hours. So once I start that, I don't know how much reading I'll actually get to do, so I might be kind of missing some of the end of Fortnight Frights. So now I need to do some work, and then I get back to my book, and that's it for Wednesday night. I don't really have any big plans except starting The Only Good Indians. So I just finished The Year of the Witching, and there were a lot of tears shed, and I just loved it. It's very exciting. There is a lot of action in this. I really love the characters a lot. You do form attachments for sure. For a young adult dark fantasy, this is incredible. And that's book 2 down for Fortnight Frights. So, I mean, it's only day 11, right? So I got 2 books so far of my 4. All right, so it is day 12, I think. And I've been really bad at updating this week because it's been a really busy week with school and I've been trying to get a lot of things accomplished. But I did start on The Only Good Indians, I think 40 pages in. The first section is really short and you're reading about Ricky and you're kind of learning about what happens to him in the very beginning. And then there's 4 friends. There's Lewis, Ricky, Cass, and I don't remember the 4th one right now, but after the section on Ricky, you go into Lewis and you learn about his life. He's living off reservation. He's married to this woman who they've been together for 10 years. He works for the Postal Service. You're kind of learning about his new group of friends. And in each of these introductions, these characters are coming face to face with these elk, which seem to be entities because they're not actually there. It's kind of interesting because you're sort of slowly finding out what may have happened 10 years prior. I don't still yet know, but it sounds like whatever happened then is coming back to try and kill them. Maybe not directly, but in some ways. So it seems a little creepy. So I guess I should say early on, trigger warning for animal death and bad things happening to animals. Then of course there's the elks, so there is the theme of hunting within this book. If you have a problem with that this will be a difficult book to read. Hello friends, it is day 13. Yes, day 13, Friday of Fortnight Frights. I got a little bit further in The Only Good Indians, but I didn't get that much further into it. So I'm still plugging away at that. However, today I did homework and school, and I've got to go do some things for work. But I'm not going to have much of a chance to read. I'm kind of hoping to get a little reading later on this evening, but we're doing Gish, and so I know that time is going to go towards that. I would like to get this book finished by tomorrow, so I'm going to try it, and I'm going to try and make time for reading. I'm really enjoying it so far, though. I love the details that Stephen Graham Jones uses. Just all the details he uses in the story really make these characters feel real, really make the locations and the places seem real. He just is fantastic in the way he uses details. So far, liking it. It hasn't got to the point where it's really eerie yet. So I heard that it gets kind of creepy and eerie and weird. Hasn't happened yet, but I haven't got that far. So let's see how this goes. And I'm just about to go drop off my mail-in ballots for voting. So make sure you go out and vote this year. It's a very important year for it. Morning, it's the last day of Fortnight Frights, and so that's day 14. I have not finished all my books for Fortnight Frights. I've finished Beloved and The Year of the Witching. I'm currently on The Only Good Indians. I'm on page 105. It doesn't feel like it's a really creepy book. I think it's going to start to get more and more creepy. However, last night I had a whole bunch of weird, awful nightmares, and I know they stemmed from reading what I read in this book so far, and it was terrible because I don't usually have nightmares based off the books that I read. And so this must be more scary subconsciously than I feel like it is when I'm actually reading it, because I had at least 2 or 3 awful dreams last night. And so that's fun. It wasn't fun at all. This shit just 116. Wow. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm not really sure what's happening here. It's horrible, though. I did not do a good job of explaining that I was going to continue reading that book for a little while I drank my coffee, and then I was going to get started on Gish stuff. So I segued from that to finding out what happened on page 118 and flipping out, to then moving on to Gish stuff. So it's going to be a pretty abrupt change here, but this is my segue. Okay, so one of the challenges is to embrace your fear. So I got a great white shark mask, and she's going to wear it, and I'm going to hug her. And we'll take a picture, and that'll be the embrace your fear prompt. This thing's awful. So one of these things we're doing is making these little nose floats, like for the Rose Parade, but it's a nose parade instead. And so since I went to UT, I made this little hook'em guy, and it's going to go on top of this little float. Go on top of this little float. And then I'm going to put a football on top of that so you won't see the top of the hand. It's going to look something like this, but hopefully so when you look at it from the side, and it kind of goes across like a parade. And we're going to put like wheels on it and a whole bunch of little flowers and make it look like a float from the Nose Parade as opposed to the Rose Parade. Another one of the scavenger hunt items that we decided to do, and by the way, this is a whole group scavenger hunt thing, so there's like 11 of us on our team. I decided to do one that was take a cute video of your pets and turn it into something creepy and scary. So took a picture of Cece, our dog, playing. She likes to shake her little chipmunk toy around, and I turned that into a scary video. Let's see if I can show you. So it froze up a little bit on my screen, but yeah, that's basically how ridiculous I am, and I thought it was so much fun. Alright, so that is it for Fortnight Frights. I made it through 2 and 3rd books. I finished Beloved, The Year of the Witching, and I'm partially through The Only Good Indians. What's good about that is that for all of November I'm reading books about Indigenous authors, so I can carry on through with The Only Good Indians. It's perfect for what I'm actually doing this month. I'm also continuing to read Black Witch Magic and listening to The Witching Hour, although I will have to switch over to another audiobook at some point next month because I'm listening to Split Tooth. But I'm going to continue trying to get through The Witching Hour. I still have like 31 hours left, so that is definitely a long audiobook. I don't listen to audiobooks a lot when I'm staying at home because I tend to read over listening to an audiobook. Usually I listen to audiobooks when I'm driving, and since I haven't really had to go out to work, I haven't been driving very far lately, so I haven't got to do too much listening to audiobooks. So that's it. Let me know how successful your Fortnight Frights was if you participated this year. I would have liked to have done more, but I really read a lot of books in the beginning of the month, and so I'm not upset about this month at all. I read a lot of books. I just didn't get as many read in the last couple of weeks. School got very busy, life got very busy, and I'm okay with it. I did pretty darn well this month. I'm really getting excited to start reading for Indigathon and Believeathons. I've got many book options for that. If you haven't got a chance to check out those TBRs, I will link those up above. Click that like button now if you like this video. Subscribe if you're wanting to see some of my future vlogs. And also if you're enjoying this content. Book reviews, and a lot of nonfiction content. And next month it's going to be all Indigenous books. So stay tuned. See you in the next video.